Cleveland, this is for you.
Remember the name.
Sports Talk Zone. Welcome back to another week of Sports Talk Zone. I'm your host, Ronaldo McPherson, alongside Mikhail Hutchinson. And this week we'll start off with Champions League football, where Real Madrid came back from a 2-0 deficit to defeat Paris Saint-Germain 3-1 and 3-2 on aggregate. Did you see the second leg, Mikhail? What was your thought on this brilliant game?
Oh, what a game this was. Unfortunate for PSG that they had to drop out like this. Their big plans with the big signing. We all know they came together to try to win the Champions League year on year, going so far, but yet not lifting the cup. And with signing the greatest football player of all time this season, it was almost assuring. That was a thought, that was a game plan. But as I said, unfortunately, Real Madrid yet again, many times Champions League winner, they just know how to win that tournament. They were brilliant in this game. I don't know if you would consider that first goal an error by the keeper. And
yes, absolutely, definitely.
Exactly, and then allowing Real Madrid to get that goal, and then everything just shift from there. As I said, Benzema scored, and then it was just all Madrid from there. I don't know. We have always said this, I'll call it experiment with PSG with Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi just did not work. And this is, I would say, one of those times where we can prove that putting stars together does not equate championships or guaranteed success. And they dropped out. I don't know. I remember saying that Pochettino isn't this big coach, so I wonder if that had anything to do with it. But very unfortunate for them. Congratulations to Madrid on to the next round. How they're looking, let's see how far they will go, because that team name, Byron, is looking really good.
All right, what I'll say about this game is that, I think PSG and Messi has the worst luck in Champions League football. PSG is known for bottling it when it matters. They lost to Barcelona 6-1 when they beat Barcelona 4-0 in Paris. I don't know if you remember that when Neymar took control of the game and brought Barcelona back. Then another year they lost, I think, 3-1 to Manchester United when they were up 2-0. And now they come again and lose 3-1 to Real Madrid. Messi has also been on the end of result like that with Barcelona. The most recent one that we can recall is the one against Liverpool, where Barcelona beat Liverpool 3-0, then went to Anfield and lost 4-0. So PSG and Messi together is like a combined bad luck. It seemed like it would have never worked. But the real issue here is that the way how Real Madrid played this game compared to the way they played the first leg was polar opposite. In the first leg, they were sitting back, allowing PSG to take control of the game. It was a little bit of that also in the second leg, I would say in the first half. But in the second half, it was totally different. Real Madrid started to press on the front foot. They started to put some pressure back on PSG. And as usual, when you have a team like PSG that literally is so vulnerable defensively, because you got to remember, Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe don't defend. They just sit in the middle of the field and wait for the ball to break to them. And that's it. They are not running back. They are not tracking back to help with defensive situations. So PSG is very vulnerable defensive, and Real Madrid exploited that. And if you look at all the goals, you could see how the defense just break down and allow PSG to score. What I will also say is that Pochettino, I think we can say it now, he's not the big manager that everyone would think he is. He's not. So if Manchester United is looking to hire him, unless they are looking to give him like a rebuild project, then cool. But if you are looking for someone to come in and transform how the club is and bring you trophies, then I don't think this is your man. Because it's obvious that he's afraid of players with huge egos. In my opinion, from PSG scored and they went up 2-0 on aggregate, I would think by the 68th minute or maybe the 65th minute. At that time, I think Real Madrid had scored back. Well, I would say at the 68th minute or 65th minute, somewhere there, you'd have take off maybe Neymar and bring on a midfielder to keep the midfield control and solidify the defensive part of the game in order to see if you could see out the game in a better way. than having 3 men on the field that he knows is not going to defend, right? Why was he so... I don't understand why he wouldn't have taken off one of those. I would take off Neymar, being that he's even coming back from injury also, right? I would take him off and bring on maybe Ronaldo or Guy or someone like that to hold that midfield and control the game for you guys. But they didn't decide to do that. He did not decide to do that, and they paid the consequences. And we can say that Pochettino is not the guy. He's not the big manager that everyone is claiming that he is. And this is it. And I think what is coming for PSG now is they got to blow this team up. They got to blow this team up because championship is absolutely win based on how good you are defensively. If you look when Chelsea won last year, Chelsea was very good defensively. If you look when Liverpool had won, we had to went and get a good solid defender to ensure that we could defend well. Because Liverpool, remember when Liverpool was just scoring goals but they were giving up goals also, and then they had to went and get a defender to ensure that they do well as far as in this competition. And you just cannot have 7 man defending. You cannot have 7 man defending. This is absolute madness. You understand? As a coach, you got to ensure that all your players are behind the ball when necessary. If you look at any of the top team, then if you look at even a team like City that has the most possession of the ball, whenever they lose the ball and the team and they're in a position where they have to fall behind the ball, they do so. You don't see anybody out of the ordinary thing that they're too big to do it. And that was the issue, I think, with PSG. Pochettino could not control the big three, and it cost them the game because football is not played on one side. It's not one side alone to football games, and they pay the ultimate price for it. So as we had said prior to the start of the Champions League, for PSG, it's either winning the Champions League or bust. There was no other way about it, and falling out at the round of 16 is way worse than what we had expected of them. So it's a great underachievement for them this season. Let's move on to big game of the day. Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. Manchester won 3-2 with the GOAT back in business with an hat-trick today. Ronaldo leading you guys, Mikhail, over the finish line. Give me your thoughts.
Well. Manchester United back to winning ways in the English Premier League after losing to Man City. I actually was very doubtful going into this game. I was saying probably this would be another loss for United, but United, they came out and they played pretty well. Saw some defensive laps by your guy here, Mr. Skipper. But yeah, Manchester United came out and Ronaldo scored a brilliant. That first goal was a brilliant.
All the goals were brilliant. All of his goals were brilliant. Continue.
I love the first one especially, but because from outside the 18 getting it there and then taking that shot. Yeah, Manchester United, they play well, but yet again unable to score and then take control of game because within no time Tottenham came right back into the game, and then fortunate for Manchester United they got a second goal, but then again Spurs was right back into it, and then as I said, the GOAT, he found the winner. And then even as you were saying prior to, you see, as Manchester United scored the third goal, they took off Ronaldo and brought on a defensive midfield to try to secure the victory. But it was a very entertaining game. I liked it, enjoyed it. Manchester United still not convincing, but hey, it's a win. Hopefully it can lead to other things, momentum picking up. But there was so many historic things that happened within this game. Ronaldo becoming the number 1 goal scorer in all football competition with 807 goals so far, and more to come because he's far from being finished. So who knows where his career will end. I think they're saying it's 59 hat-trick. He just knows to score a goal, and we can't take that away from him. But there's more to impact in that game than just scoring. But if you want a goal scorer, he is the man. I'm not taking that away from him. But trust me, you had said it If Ronaldo don't score, United won't win. I don't know. I'm starting to believe that theory now. I don't know.
It's not a theory, my friend. It's not a theory. It's a fact, right? It's a scientific fact. What I'll say is that Spurs overall was the better team. Spurs played a better football, got the better chances, but just did not do as much with their chances as they could have. And I think their defense and the fact that they didn't do as much as they should with their chances cost them the game. Because the only difference today for Manchester United, in my opinion, was the fact that Ronaldo was on the pitch. Manchester United did not play that well. In my opinion, they did not play that well. But all those chances that fall to Ronaldo, he took them the best he could. Even some of the chances I saw him got that, you would have think that they were bad chances, that anything wouldn't come off it. He made the keeper work. He was on his best game today. I haven't seen Ronaldo like that in a very long time, I must say. So that was the only difference in the game today. The Manchester United defense was still poor. Harry Maguire finding the equalizer for Spurs. The defense continuously being in shambles whenever Spurs was attacking. In my opinion, it wasn't a good game overall from Manchester, but they had a great player that did great things, and it gave them the win. And this is what I think was what was missing from that Manchester City game. A great player for Manchester United that could have either pulled them a bit into the game or something of that sort. But I would say Ronaldo literally put Manchester United on his back. He put them on his back and did what he had to do. But yeah, overall, this just goes to show you, as I said, greatness can never ever be the problem. Greatness is always the solution. So when people are constantly, Manchester United fans, listen to this. When you guys are constantly saying, oh, Ronaldo is a problem and Ronaldo is the reason why y'all can't play the way y'all want to play, I promise you, without Ronaldo, even if y'all end up playing the way y'all want to play, you would not win games. Okay? And understand this, Manchester United need Ronaldo more than Ronaldo need Manchester United. Because don't forget, no top players are thinking about coming to Manchester United now. The club has lost a lot of its pedigree, a lot of its respect. Not many big time players are going to look at Manchester United as a club and say that's where they want to play their career, unless they are only going there for the money. But if they are looking to win trophies, I promise you they are not looking to come to Manchester United. So put some respect on Cristiano Ronaldo's name and y'all cut that foolishness out about this man is the cause of your problems. This man is the solution to any problems y'all have at Manchester United.
Based on how CR7 is performing in his career now and Messi is performing, who do you think at this stage in their career is the better player? So not their career as a whole, but right now in their career, who is performing better?
I think Ronaldo is having a better season than Messi. It's not even debatable. Messi is the better player, but Ronaldo is having the better season.
Messi is the better what?
Player, but Ronaldo is having the better season.
So I don't want to hear you call him the GOAT again. You hear?
No, the GOAT, there can be more than one GOAT.
One GOAT.
No man, more than one GOAT. Messi is the greatest of all time to me, but Ronaldo is the greatest of all time to many other people. I'm not going to disrespect Ronaldo's legacy, but I feel like
he can be the second GOAT.
He can be first, second, third, it doesn't matter. He's in that conversation. His body of work suggests that he should be there.
Yeah, I will agree with you to say, as it is right now, Ronaldo is having a better season. And I don't know, it's because of maybe the system or the type of players caliber that is at PSG, because PSG has two world star footballers in their camp versus say a Manchester United where if it's not Ronaldo, it's nobody.
But
exactly.
That's a fact. And not only that, you have to remember, in my opinion, Ronaldo personality is way bigger than Lionel Messi. I think Lionel Messi is a bit more subdued in his approach to the game compared to Ronaldo. So Ronaldo will go into a club and like kinda, force his personality upon players and such, and most players going to pretty much adapt or conform to what he wants because he's Ronaldo. I don't think Messi go into a club and be like that. I think Messi going more into a club with thinking that he wants to be like more together with the guys, more of like we are all here trying to work out things together. I don't think he would go. Because Messi could have done that. He could have went and just imposed himself. I am Messi and all the ball should play through me like it used to be at Barcelona. He doesn't do that. Like, you don't hear nothing coming out of PSG say Messi complaining about the ball not being passed to him and Messi complaining that the game not running through him. But you hear a lot of things coming out of Manchester United about Ronaldo saying that such and such person shouldn't be in the team and he should be captain in the team, and we heard all of these things all the time. So that's what I think. It's just Ronaldo is more of an imposing person than Messi. Let's move on to some controversial stuff now, Mikhail Hutchinson. The UK government has placed sanction on Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich. Chelsea is pretty much in a limbo. They are not allowed to purchase any player. They are not allowed to renegotiate any contract, give out any new contracts. They are not allowed to collect any more money for tickets, merchandises, and any of these kind of things. And if he decides to sell the team, he also cannot receive any form of benefit from it. What do you think about these sanctions and how it will affect Chelsea?
This is a really sticky situation, and as we all know what is happening and why this has been done, to try to put pressure to stop war that is currently going on. But this is quite unfair. Although persons will say all is fair in love and war, but trust me, as I said, the club has nothing to do with this. I don't even know. I'm just lost over it. This will mash the club, and the club is gonna go right down, because I don't think personally he will sell, and knowing that when you sell your club, you won't get any of the proceedings. The government will take that, and that is unfair. So, but as it stay, if he remains the owner, because yes, he has put the club for sale. He wants 3 billion for the club, and he has achieved so many things whilst being the owner at Chelsea. I think it's 21 trophies he has won so far since taking over. It's a really sticky situation. As I said, sports should be sports and not be involved in politics, but it's just a casualty of war at this point in time. It is very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate.
I personally think we are past the stage of where we think like sports isn't being politicized. Black Lives Matter, Pride Movement, all these things are considered political situations. And now the war in Ukraine. What I'll say though is that this definitely going to pretty much will sink Chelsea as a club, because the players are going to leave eventually. Once your contract is out or runs out, or if you are able to even force yourself out now, you're going to think about doing that, because I don't think no player want to be at a club that is being scrutinized, because even though it's the owner, people are looking at the owner, but they are also tying the owner to the club. So any backlash the owner is getting, it's also going towards the club. So they freeze his assets, he can monetize anything to do with Chelsea. Therefore, Chelsea is going to feel it. The club is going to feel it, and what is going to happen is that eventually the club. This is if he decides to hold on to his club and not sell it. I think the club will eventually end up running down. Because at least I personally, if I was in a position like that where if I sell my club, I couldn't receive anything from it, I would rather it burn to the ground. That's just my opinion of that. But yeah, hopefully there can be a way to hurry up and fix all of this and things can get back to normal, because it's not a good look for the club and it's not a good look for the football community overall. Let's move on to some cricket now, Mickey. West Indies versus England. The first test was completed today. The game ended in a draw. Nkrumah Bonner made 123 and 38 not out, received the Man of the Match award. In the first inning, Johnny Bairstow made 140. England's second innings, Zach Crawley and Joe Root made centuries. Zach Crawley made 121 and Joe Root made 109. And yeah, what do you think about the game? What was your impression?
All right, so positive from this game. Good to see that West Indies did not lose. Let's just start there.
I think you only can take positives from the game, but go ahead.
It's West Indies. Anyway, let's start off by saying first West Indies did not lose. So hats off to them. They got a draw from the game. Starting off this game, West Indies had England at 57 for 4, and I thought that they would have finished them off for even less than 200, probably even 100 and little small amount. That's based on how the game was. But yet again, as I said, with West Indies, you just never know. And England managed to get back the way into the game. As I said, Johnny Burstow scored that century and gave England a decent total. And yet again, now West Indies batting, chasing that total. They got a pretty good start. And thank God for Nkrumah Bonner. He came and solidified the innings because wickets were falling around him. And as I said, making 123 from 355 balls, just to know how long he was batting. And if it wasn't for him, probably we would not have been able to actually get that lead. But then in the second innings, as I said, the wicket got flatter, batting became more comfortable. So England basically just set a decent total. I think they gave us like 285 or 286, somewhere there about for us to chase declaring. And then in the second innings, I was saying, we started off pretty well, and I'm saying, okay, we're just gonna play for the draw. Then all of a sudden, here comes the West Indies trying to throw away the game again. I was like, oh my God. Because I can never understand this in cricket. And it's not just with the West Indies, cricket overall. I just see one wicket gone. It's like the person who he was batting with just goes as well, and I don't know why. It's not absolute, but majority of the time, once that partnership breaks, it's like the next person goes, and then you have two fresh new batsmen at the crease, and then they lose the next wicket. And I was like, is this really going to happen? Is England really going to win this game from here? But as I said, Bonner again making 38, and he was there with Jason Holder, and that 38 came from 138 balls. So as you can see, they weren't chasing any runs, they were just out there occupying the crease, and they did pretty well. So hats off to them. Based on how this series has looked so far, I think that these teams are evenly poised. I don't see any team clear cut say, hey, we're more dominant than you are. So I think that we might get a result and in favor of West Indies, being that we always perform very well once we're in the Caribbean, especially against England. So I'm looking to see West Indies actually winning this series. I can make a call, maybe 1-0.
I think we perform well. I don't have anything negative really to say about the team. I just think there are certain parts we can improve on. In the first inning, we put down some catches. I think we got to clean up our fielding a little bit more. But when we went to England, made 311 in their first inning. The bowling was pretty decent, was pretty good for the most part. When we went to bat, I have to commend the openers. 83 runs partnership before we lost a wicket. Not very often we see that with the West Indies, where we get a decent opening partnership. And I think that kind of laid the foundation a bit for Ivo Bonner to come and have the ability to occupy the crease and get his 100 while some of the wickets were falling. I think that opening partnership helped to put us in a very good spot where we could end up going on to get a lead in the test match. But I'll say about the second innings for England, I think that we could have done better as far as how we bowled. I think we should have bowled a bit more straighter, more wicket to wicket, and see what could have happened, because I was watching the game and I saw that some of the time the ball was keeping low, but most of the time the line was outside off stump. So I think maybe if we bowl a bit more straight, we maybe would have seen something a bit different, and maybe that would have even allowed to change the game in our favor. And what I would also say, on the third day when we had England in the field from the day before, and we faced like 100 and almost 50 overs in that first innings, I was thinking that maybe we could have sent England to bat on the third day for maybe a couple overs, 10 overs or so, while they were in the field for so long when they would be tired and stuff, and see if we could have picked up 1 or 2 wickets in that session and see how it goes on the 4th day instead of allowing England to go in and be rested and come back out on the 4th day. So that's the only thing I'll say. But overall, I think we performed fairly well. Got to give Nkoma Bana a lot of props, a lot of props. The way he played remind me of Shiv Narayan, Shanda Paul, very patient, not looking to rush his score, just occupying this crease and knowing that the runs will come from your there. Some of our players need to learn this. I see Jermaine Blackwood out to the spinner, and I'm like, that was uncalled for, especially if you are trying to draw the test game. Absolutely not necessary.
I would say,
and even the way out in the first innings, the LBW, I'm like, don't like how you look like you kind of reverting back to what people used to thought about you before West Indies had kind of give you a break. Don't get too complacent because you're the vice captain. Don't get too complacent. Continue to remember what you were doing when you just come back.
That's where I was going to ask you, because I'm actually looking at his stats, because I've been asking you for the longest while. Do you think it's time for Jermaine Blackwood to go? Because since for even 2021, you would have had 20 innings, making 1,061 runs and have an average of 24. I tell you, his last set of innings has been horrible. I think it's time for him to go.
So what I'll say, I think after this series, then we can make a decision on that. But how many West Indies players averaging over 24?
That's sad to you, say.
That's the thing, though. How many? The truth.
Give some young talents, give some young prospect. But trust me, I've said it. Yes, because 2020 was a great year for him, and since then he has gone down. Because even in the whole of 2021, he only scored 250s, and with a high score of 68. So
yeah, unacceptable as the vice captain.
So I think, if for me, I will actually make a couple changes going into probably the next game. But if you allow these persons to continue to fail and they know their spot is sure, they won't perform. And I believe that is what is happening with Jermaine Blackwood. Even Shamar Brooks now, there should be somebody always knocking on the door to say, you didn't play well, my time now.
I think the Shamar Brook position will always be a rotating position until someone eventually holds it down, because they drop Myers to play Brooks. And sometimes Brooks might not play and it's Rasta and Chase. So that position is mainly between Rasta and Chase, Myers and Brooks. Myers would normally bat further down, but I think those are the batsmen that would normally be vying for that spot. We don't want the players to get complacent in the team at all. So absolutely they need to, well, not they, Jermaine Blackwood I'm speaking about. He need to absolutely find back that form he was when he just came back to the game. All right, let's move on to basketball, Mikhail. The Brooklyn Nets steamrolled Philadelphia 76ers after a long-awaited and highly anticipated game after that trade went down. James Harden didn't show up. A lot of people are saying this man disappear every time the light shine bright. What did you think about that? Not the game, but James Harden performance overall and big moments.
Well, it has always been said that when it comes down to the big moments, he flops. Because year in, year out, we would have seen it. This man has been the most dominant player in the regular season, MVP, and when it's playoff time, he's MIA. I don't know. Was the pressure of this game was the reason why he did not perform? Because funny enough, prior to, they would have played 5 games, him and MB together, and they won. Exactly. So when this game came now, what happened? It's like, I don't know, because shots, he was horrible. He was just missing all kind of shots. He was shooting and they just wouldn't go it. I don't know, but yeah, he's just not that.
He's not
man.
that guy.
He's not the man for the big moments.
Yeah, he's not that guy. He's a good basketball player, but he's not cut from that cloth that like wants it and will take it to you in like those heated and tough moments. I think when the moment get big, you rather to be in the shadow than to be at the front and be dominant. And it shows all the time. Like as he said, when it's regular season, he is Mr. MVP. But when it comes down to crunch time, when it comes down to the times that matter, when it comes down to the game 6, the game 7s, the last 2 minutes of these games, the clutch moments, he's nowhere to be found.
So I don't know if it is fair to say we can see who won the trade just based off this one game, but because we still haven't seen Ben Simmons yet. So
yeah, but Philly made this trade to win a chip, and I don't think you can win a chip with a person who is afraid of big moments, because in order to win the chip you have to be big in the big moments. You can't come up short.
That's true.
I was seeing this stats on Fox where they were talking about Harden's last 8 elimination games. He's 1-7 and he showed
1-7.
Showed a 39.7 field goal percentage and 23% from the 3-point. So his stats goes down significantly in
the big moments.
So you have to win a chip with a person that want that big moment and will be willing and ready to shine in it. All right, let's move on to your GOAT. Lebron James dropped another 50 point in the Wizard game. This is his second 50-point game of the week. Will the GOAT need to drop 50 points every night in order to see the Lakers win?
And we know that's not possible. Trust me, because the last time he dropped 50 prior to this one, he had to take a game off. Because yeah, exactly. And persons where he was saying that maybe he had came back too quick because he had a brain freeze in that game where he got a layup and passed the ball. But trust me, if it was me and LeBron at this point in time, I'll probably take the rest of the season off, because I know he said unless he's 6 feet under blah blah blah, he still has a shot. But look at it. Okay. To get into the play-in tournament, you'll have to win 2 games based on where they're at. Even if they win those 2 games, then they'll have to face that series against Phoenix. So basically, you'll have to win, and that will be 4 games. So at least 6 games. Whenever we saw Lakers won 6 straight games, it has not happened. And it's highly unlikely.
You never know. Maybe the switch flip when playoff come around. Maybe all of a sudden Westbrook from OKC, you know? Maybe AD come back and is most dominant big man. Just never know.
Trust me. Right now he's just having fun as far as I see. He's just having some fun. How far the Lakers will go, I hope they
as far as
advance in the play
can drag them.
And that's probably just the playing, because as I said, putting so much work on the body will take a toll, especially at his age. So,
and he wants to play with his son, so probably don't even get there if he have to drag this Lakers team like this.
Because it was even so sad in the Rockets game where they said that they had a game plan just to attack Melo. That's what the interview, because he was so horribly defensive. So these guys are just old. It's just I thought it would have been something special, but as somebody said, probably back if it was 2010, but not 2022. Everybody's past the prime.
I don't see Lakers winning games unless LeBron continue to be like this, though. Because you realize when LeBron put up 30, when he has a nice little night, he still lose. He got to put up 50, and when he put up 50, it's not like they are blowing out teams when he's putting up 50. They are just winning by 8, 7, stuff like that. They're not blowing out teams. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's see what happens as the playoff draw closer. And that concluded for another week of Sports Talk Zone. You can check us out on all streaming platforms and also on Instagram at Sports Talk Zone 876.